Hey everyone, it's Susan here. Welcome to my channel, Susan Hiles Art. So I decided today I would just kind of show my face. I haven't in a while and I figure why not? Um, yeah, so a lot of stuff is happening, in life and things are a bit crazy. And so I figured I would just kind of do my video maybe a little differently than usual. Yeah, so I just want to chat a little bit with you and share some new die cuts that I got for my December Daily. And if you all don't know what a December Daily is, it is a way to document your December, whether it's through scrapbooking or last year I did it with sewing, and that was through the Roxy Journal of Stitchery. Is that right? Did I say that right? I feel like I said that wrong. Roxy's, I don't know, I forget. Isn't that terrible? So yeah, last year I did it with all fabric and that was a ton of fun. But this year I'm going to go back to my roots and do a more paper-based project, as I like to call them. And yeah, so I got some awesome die cuts and I'll share the Etsy shop name with you. So, and then what I wanted to do was to share my thoughts on the wall hanging that we've been working on, because I kind of have, when I'm working on something like that, at some point I feel like I need to wrap my head around the whole finished piece. So kind of like having a goal in mind. It's kind of like, well, I know if I want it to look like this, whatever this is, that that kind of gives me a goal to reach, right? And that doesn't mean I don't change things as I'm working on the project, but it is also helpful to me just to help guide me, and so I know where I'm going with that particular project. So I do want to share that with you, and I'm still stamping. So this is still part of the hashtag stamp and sew unofficial. I'm doing a lot of air quotes today. Unofficial open collaboration if anybody wanted to join in and do some stamping and sewing. And yeah, there's a couple ladies that have joined, Carol and Lolly. So yeah. But anyway, I think what the first thing I'll do, since I'm so stinking excited about it, is to share the die cuts. And so let me share the die cuts first, and then I'll share the Etsy shop with you. So first of all, one of the things that I love is that the die cuts come in a fun envelope, and you know what I'm going to do with this, right? You know, this is going in my December Daily. So this envelope here, whether it's just the front of it, which I doubt, I'll probably leave it as an envelope, and I would glue the back of it onto a page, and then I can tuck things inside. That's probably what I'll do, but you never know. And it's super duper duper pretty. But so the die cuts inside, well, there's a lot of them. I don't even know how many are here, to tell you the truth. But Terry Fitzpatrick, who owns the particular Etsy shop, she had sent these to me, and I just fell in love with the set and just knew I needed them once I saw them. So this is, you know, I'm going to kind of put it down, and I'm going to lift up a few of the die cuts for you. Now, one thing I like about these is that they're not glossy, they're matte, and I like that. They're, you know, I don't know, easier to work with, so I like that a lot. And while I'm talking, I guess I'll just hold some up to you, for you. And so I will use these on my pages, and I thought I could probably even use some to put the dates on my pages. So one thing that the majority of people do when they do a December daily is they'll have the date somewhere on the page, which makes sense, right? Because you, well, when you go back and look at it over time, right, in a year or 5 from now, yeah, you're gonna want to know, well, did I do that on the 1st of December or the 10th of December or what, right? So anyways, so I can use some of these for the dates on my pages, as well as, I don't have a tremendous amount of pictures for my December daily. Well, I always start my December daily with Thanksgiving, which of course is November. But that's the good thing about a December daily, is that you make it what you want. I don't even do it every day, even though it's called a daily, December daily. I do it just on the days where there's something going on. So maybe I did some shopping that day, or, maybe I baked, or, my kids are coming over and I set the table. So I take a picture of the table. And the food, right? Obviously presents once they're wrapped. And so there's more to take pictures of than you potentially think that there are. But it's okay if you don't have pictures to take, because, let me see, let me kind of dig here. This particular die set was all about mistletoe and holly. So that's why you're seeing all these awesome holly and mistletoe type die cuts. Oh, and so the name of the Etsy shop is Lucid, oh my gosh, it just went right out of my head. Lucid, oh, isn't that funny? Oh my gosh, if you do videos, you know what I'm talking about. Lucid Lizard Jewelry. In fact, let me show it to you. And so one thing that's really cool that Terry does, so again, Terry is the one that I know, and I know her from the Susan Taylor Brown group of people. And so Lucid Lizard Jewelry, let me see if I can let me see. I'm just going to kind of hold that there. Hopefully you can see it okay. Oh, my voice. My voice is going. Sorry, everybody. So Lucid Lizard Jewelry. I'll have the link below so you can check it out. But what she does sell jewelry, but she also has 159 different paper craft things. She also does die cuts she puts together that she sells. She does the die cuts that I'm sharing with you now. And there's a lot here. Let me see. The name of this one is the Christmas Holly and Mistletoe. Does it say here how many pieces are in this? I'm not finding it, but it could be there somewhere. I don't want to take too much time looking. But so this that I'm showing you is this right here. And again, I hope it looks better to you than it does for me. It looks not too good when I'm sharing it on screen, but I think it'll come across fine. But she's been doing also making the digital format as well. So she does digitals, a lot of digital that you upload and you print yourself. And she also has a lot of the die cuts. And like I said, as well as jewelry and that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know. There has to be at least 40, if not 50 or more pieces here. And so I'm going to have a lot of fun using these. So check out Terry's link below. And she has so many different, she has every kind of die cut. Die cuts to me are one of those things that for years, many years, like even when I was doing a lot of Bible journaling, like if you know, like By the Well for God. I loved their monthly kits because I loved the die cuts. And so for me, it's one of those things that have always, I know I'll use. So I always have die cuts ready for my December daily. And what's really cool about this is I am not purchasing anything for my December daily this year. So I'm gonna use these as my jumping off point, and I'm gonna go through the papers that I have and find the traditional color Christmas scrapbook paper that I have that I'll use with this. So I've done pink color December dailies, I've done mixed media, I've done the sewing, I've done scrapbook, I've done it all. I've done it all. So anyway, so yeah, so I'm excited to, share with you all these awesome pieces. Pink bow, it's pinkish red, it's beautiful. And yeah, so that's that. And remember to check her shop out below. She's a wider range of prices and offerings for you. And I can't wait to use this envelope. All right, so I think what I'll do next is I'm going to point the camera down and I'm going to share with you what my plans are for the wall hanging that we've been working on. All right, so this is my thought process. So we have worked on these first 4 blocks together. And I don't think I'm going to sew today, only because I'm feeling a little under the weather. And but I did want to share this with you. So I know I'm going to be using this fabric as the base, and I know I want to have the blocks be now how do I say that, apart from one another enough to where you can appreciate the fabric underneath. And I'm going to have these 9 blocks. And so I think so I was kind of like putting them down so I could figure out the composition, more air quotes, on for this wall hanging. And I want to try to do them in order. So this was our first one, our second one, our third one, and our fourth one. This will be our 5th one, our 6th one, and so on. So this is going to be a butterfly. This will be another flower, stamped, of course. Then I want to stamp a leaf onto this little piece. And that will be that. And then this one I'm excited for, because this one I'm going to use this background stamp. And I'll go ahead and stamp it on there. And then it's going to be fun to figure out what to sew. So as you can imagine, like the middles of the flowers will most likely be French knots, right? And you just kind of think about it and how fun it can be to sew. So say the stamp, because it's not a big piece of fabric, right? So say the stamp was, this section right here, let's just say. I mean, those are some really cute flowers to do some sort of sewing with. So that's my plan for that one. And then the last one is just a little flower that I had sewn or drew. And so I plan on sewing that. So that's kind of my pattern. And then I was thinking maybe I would use a little bit of this yellow fabric on the background, because I thought yellow would be good because I have a little bit of yellow in this piece of fabric up here. But then I also thought, well, there's a good amount of orange as well. So then I thought, well, maybe I'll use that. I'm kind of liking the orange better now that I have that there. So maybe I'll use that orange. I'll have to look through my fabrics. I mean, I do have this because I was kind of keeping it kind of on the pastel side. So maybe, I think, see, this is what happens, and right, we're allowed to change our minds. Right? When you're working on something, you're allowed to change your mind because, you know, it's your project, right? So you do what you want. But I do have this piece of fabric, and, well, it's not folded right by any means, but you can get a good feel for it. But you know what? I don't necessarily like that. I think it's too bland. It does match the middle of this though. But I was kind of liking that brighter orange. I mean, and I don't have to have a lot of it show. I can have just a very little bit of it show around this stamped image. So I can do just a little bit, just like that, just enough, a hint of color. So that, I think I like that better because it really looks pretty good with that. And yeah. And I think it also looks good with this. So maybe that's what I'll do for that one. Okay, so I'm gonna put this I'll put away because I like that better. Yeah, so then that's going to be it, and then I'll sew the blocks on. I'll put away to hang it on a wall. Yeah, and then the last thing that I decided to do was, you know, I did stamp the word grace onto this piece right here. And I was taking a look. I was going to use other words, but I find that these three words right here, or even these three, peace, mercy, and grace, maybe that's what I'll do, are the right size for this project. The other stamps that I had were just a little bit too big. They would be overpowering. They just would look off. So yeah, so I'm gonna put, like, I already pulled a stamp out. I have, well, nope, I think that's the grace stamp. So there's truth. This looks like peace. That looks like peace. And where's the mercy? Here, this kind, I'll have to stamp them to make sure that I have them right. But this kind of looks like, yeah, that looks like mercy. And yeah, and so what I was thinking was that, you know, I'll do one stamped word per row, and I'll try to stagger. So maybe this one down here, I'll put a stamp as well, a stamped word. They're all going to have something stamped on them, but the words I'll have three, 1, 2, 3, maybe something like that, And what I was thinking of doing with the butterfly, and I'm not 100% decided yet, but I wanted to couch, and I wasn't sure which color, if it should be the yellow or the orange. I'm leaning towards orange. Are you guys seeing this? Oh my gosh, I think the orange, even though it's like a light orange, would be super pretty. And it would be fun to couch on the outline of the butterfly. I just have to hope that it really looks like a butterfly when I'm done. So I would have to couch it pretty tight. Make it, you know, fairly tight. Like this is, oops, this is couching. And I would have to make the fabric narrower. It couldn't be this wide. I think it would look funny if it was that wide. But this is small enough. I mean, it's just seam binding that was dyed, and it's crunchy. Crunchy meaning it's wrinkled. And I think I could do this rather thinly. So I think that this is a good choice, and maybe I'll give that a try. So yeah, so knowing if that's there, then the orange is definitely the good choice for down here, because I'm just adding more orange, and it's very autumnal, very much, right? So, which are like my favorite colors ever. So those are my plans, and I'll share the stamp set with you again. It's made by Faith Art Inspiration. I did do some research after last week's video, and someone had asked about them. I did a little research. I don't know that you're still able to buy them or not. I didn't really see anything that told me that you could. But I mean, of course, if you go on Etsy or eBay or anywhere, there's always a good chance that you will find what you're looking for. You know, and so I think it's worth looking. And don't forget to, I mean, look at all these die cuts. There's a tremendous amount of them here. There's a ton. There's a ton. And so make sure that you check out the link below. And like I said, she has the jewelry as well as the die cuts and the digital downloads. So check her out. And I will see you next Monday. And hopefully I'll be feeling better and we can do some more sewing. All right. Have a blessed week, everybody. God bless. Bye-bye.